All right, just finished up the transmission for the new SCX10 Pro Scalar low center gravity truck. Thought I would point out a couple of things that I found while building this transmission and maybe save somebody a little hassle. First thing, on the instructions you're going to find these gears right here that have the square notches in them to fit on these cogged shafts. Well, there's 3 of these square cut gears. You'll find the 26 tooth goes here and a 20 tooth goes here, but it's really easy to get that one confused with the 18 tooth. And if you do, then you're going to have to tear the whole thing back apart again. So just to give you a heads up, the smallest of these 3 squared gears is going to be one of the last gears you install at the end of the transmission build. So that's how you'll know that you're using the right ones. Use the second largest one right here, largest one right here, and the smallest one will go on towards the end of the transmission. Also, at this step during the build, I grease the gears. I do not grease this cog slider. There is enough slop in this cog when it's on this square shaft that it's not ever going to seize up, and grease will actually hang it up and cause it to shift hard. In all the transmissions that I've built that have these cogs, if I've left grease off, that cog slides smoother and my gearing engages smoother. I know on the Rift there was a lot of hard issues with that engaging. Also on the SCX 10.3, if you put too much grease on this cog, also, you're going to have issues with it engaging because it's going to want to stick. The grease is going to hold it to stick. But if you leave just this square part dry right here, that cog is going to slide. Super simple. So here's the completed transmission. Just used a little bit of grease. I used the blue Low C Great Grease. It's my favorite for gears. The reason why I only put a little coat on the gears is because if you put too much, you're going to have a lot of drag in the transmission. Transmission should be able to spin relatively smoothly. Also, the other thing you're going to run into as you're putting this together is it has these little teeny M2 screws that go from the gear case into the skid plate. There's 2 different lengths. The ones on the back are going to be, and they'll be on this page, the ones on the back side are going to be 8mm. The ones on the front side are going to be 6mm. Heads up, these 6mm will strip incredibly easy. Do not over-tighten the 6mm ones. I actually over-tightened one. I had to replace them with some stainless steel 8mm ones. 8mm ones aren't too bad. They go in, and you won't really have too much of a hard time. It does not come with stainless steel hardware. I installed that. But this is a completed SCX10 Pro transmission. Like I say, it wasn't too bad. There's no shims or anything like that. See how smooth this cog slides now? Super smooth. With grease, it would not be that smooth. Engages just slick as can be because I left that cog dry. So this is your overdrive selector. You can use a servo for that, or they've given you the ability to slide it into a notch and hold it in place for gear shifting, but I'm going to put a servo in, so I've left it this way. So just wanted to make a quick video because I hadn't seen one out there yet of putting this together. Like I say, the only real things you're going to run into, that last small gear that I told you about goes right up in here inside this case. That'll be one of the last gears you install. This is your 18 tooth. So like I say in the instructions, there's 3 different sizes. Make sure you pay attention to where you put the sizes, or else you'll end up tearing this transmission all the way back apart and doing it again. But this is your completed gear case, SCX10 Pro.